and potentially the losers, Hugo, because they're down a map.
Indeed they are, and I think, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised whoever wins this matchup will be the victor of the entire event. It's versus Godsent, they'll meet in the grand final, but fnatic v Godsent, for example, is a matchup of the two Swedish teams, and some would say typically while fnatic would stand one step above, and Godsent again with stand-ins, albeit good stand-ins at that. It should be fnatic's, but again, as you say it yourself, Connor, they are not the ones in the lead. It is Ukraine currently sitting 1-0, an advantage on the map. They've taken over past their choice, and now we're moving to Mirage, the most Swedish map ever made. And obviously leaning the way of fnatic in the sense that it is their map pick, but momentum is a factor.
I would like you to pronounce a single name on this list.
Oh no, let me guess. Bondik's surname.
Alexander Kostylev.
Yeah, you can do that. It's not too hard. Give me Bondik's full name, or you can.
Vladislav Nechiporchuk.
Well done.
Thank you.
That's good. Can we get confirmation from our producer if that's correct? It is correct.
Yegor Markalov.
Yeah, no, that one's pretty easily. Yegor,
Oh.
not Igor. Come on, Connor.
I have a cat named Igor.
Basic Ukrainian. You have a cat named Igor?
I do.
Then how can you not pronounce it correctly?
I don't know. I messed up. Here's fnatic, who unfortunately for them fell towards the end of the 30 rounds here on Overpass. They made it look incredibly close. They definitely had some hope in their hearts. flusha with some incredible 1-versus-1 clutches, not only at the beginning of the game to set a bit of a lead, but then also towards the end. But unfortunately for them, still not enough. Legends of the game, of course. flusha and JW, joined by some younger Swedish players, upcoming Swedish players. Obviously, Lekro having, I think, put his name on the map with his stint on Godsent. A deadly Deeg on that man. Brolin and Golden, younger so and newer as well. But I think that this lineup has actually shown a lot of promise, especially with the way that they dispatched of Team Russia. I actually had higher hopes for Russia coming into this event. Yeah. I mean, congrats to them. They qualified for the Chinese event, which is, again, one of maybe the bigger wins. But still dispatched of by the Swedes. And, of course, for those of you guys that didn't catch the map process when we first had it on screen, Nuke, Cobble, Train, Cash, gone. Overpass up first from Ukraine was won by them. fnatic now seeking a win on their own map pick. And if we have to, we go to the best third map decider of all time. It is Inferno. Such a classic.
See, no one likes Inferno enough to pick it, but no one hates it enough to ban it. That's the way with Inferno. It's just such a good middle ground. And there's a very good chance we may see that as well moving into Mirage. It's a map that Ukraine definitely are able to play, but fnatic for sure having some form of inherent advantage. Knife round going to make a big difference as well as we head into this game in just a second. I'm not sure if this is post knife round or pre, but we'll find out either way. Where are you leaning, Connor? Where's your head going in this?
You ask me this every time.
Yeah. And
I dodge the answer
every time
too.
you dodge a question.
Yeah. Oh, this is quite the dance we have going, Hugo.
I know.
Swedes, Mirage. Classic. Then again, Team Ukraine, capable on any map. But you know what? I'm going to say we see a third one, actually.
Ooh, I like it.
Yep.
I like it. I'll go the way of Ukraine just to add some variety, the spice of life.
I mean, I see it this way.
Yeah.
We have never not gone to a third map whenever you and I are casting a BO3.
I am known as the overtime man.
Are you?
Every map I cast seems to have either overtime or 3 maps in a best of 3 series. I very rarely cast 2-map series. It was actually in Shanghai for Star Ladder as well. I casted a 60-round game on LAN, on Overpass, between Harvu and Flash, that Flash eventually took, knocking Harvu out of groups. Very scary stuff. But fnatic, not going to be scared. They've taken the knife round, so they will get the favoured side. I imagine CT, but again, they're a team that is able to completely just dominate on the T side. No, they'll go for CT, as expected. Very typical, but you watch out for Ukraine. Firepower on this roster, and giving them AKs to their hands early on could be a dangerous mistake to make. All on that pistol round.
Pies begin to trickle in here. Only Golden could go for the kit and utility.
He is the cooler after all.
We've seen him tasked with such responsibilities before. He will do it yet again. So, kit and smoke. Team Ukraine, light utility.
And Markelov dropped over a double P250 as well. That's something to note. This is rare. Both Edward and Simple having P250s with their armor. That's quite interesting. He's got a flash to work with alongside that, but no other utility. That's it. Only one flashbang across the team. Again, this is a map where utility is extremely important, especially on those A-side attacks, and that's exactly what they're going for. Fast through middle, one player splitting through Palace, that'll be Bondic, but JW, the first line of defense with support from Brolin as well in the connector. He's only baiting, so they chase him down and Brolin gets the kill, but it's instead Flusher in the window. First frag found, and this is what I mean. The bait allows Brolin to strike, but Edward gets a kill just before his demise. 2 men left up, and Markelov makes it work, but only temporarily. Now it's just the Palace split from Bondic, and with the bomb down, he's done this before on Overpass, but this time seems a little less likely. It will be. Lekro cleans up with 2 kills, and fnatic pistol round in their favor.
Team Ukraine walking right into that stack. Obviously, the P250s are better at a distance than the Glocks. Gives you actually some lethal distance. But it never came into fruition. Nothing did there for Team Ukraine. They were mowed down before the round really even got it started. So, can they do it with 3 CZs, the Deeg, and a P250 yet again? Talk about light utility a second time around. Of course, a deadly buy from fnatic. Looking to make some cash is Brolin and Golden. Looking to pepper some terrorists is JW. He wants to hit them with the scout. Forward advancement on the A site from fnatic. JW single-handedly stopping Simple with the scout shot and follow-up. Now, Ukraine to boost a second player, and JW tries to stop it. Flusha does as well, pinching in from Catwalk. They've got the attention of the CTs, but they can't find their kills. Poor Markelov now sitting on 1/5 his original health. Golden coming into the fight, just gives up his back. He's got to be cautious. Should have known there were players down there. And in fact, Edward finding a kill to Lekro as well. Flusha gets denied by Bondic. And while the damage has been dealt to Team Ukraine, it's a 2 versus 2 regardless. They had themselves the bomb. It would put them in a very deadly spot, but they still have to work their way back in here. And that's really going to be the problem, because JW's got the scout at a distance, and Team Ukraine coming in from the top of mid.
Yeah, Posted misses the shot, opening at least. Now we'll tag Markelov low. Finishing off the job onto Bondic, and Markelov, he's got a 1v2. This looks undoable. Molotov being used, doesn't even matter. Bolin gets a kill with a UMP. So fnatic, a second round on the board, but dangerous at that. A fight they never really should have been losing. That aggression from Golden into the connector was a big risk to take, and hey, he paid the price. It started to allow Team Ukraine to build momentum, grab frags, and damage the economy of fnatic, but still it's the eco, Connor. Still it's another round likely for fnatic to take here on the CT side to knock themselves up to 3. It's the map they need if they want to take this to Inferno and give it their best shot.
Yet again, that single flashbang on Team Ukraine could be enough to allow these players to push from Palace. JW tagging targets already. Sidearm good for 2. Golden as well, and Brolin chimes in. Nice little trio of impact there from fnatic. And they keep that cash moving forward. Do they hang on to the SMGs? They most certainly could. And then again, they'll be versus the first buy of Team Ukraine. So the pistol, the conversions, it all goes their way. But it is now Ukraine on AKs, and that is a deadly thing to deal with.
But again, the bonus fnatic can pick up by getting this round is massive. 2 SMGs in play. And the AWP for JW, this is classic. He's already pushed the top of mid. I thought he was going to go connector, but no, he hunts the kill. Simple was the first to strike, though. He's dead. So AWP dropped. More damage is done by the nade. It's not enough because Ukraine had come out on top of the engagement, at least the early one. Flush are unable to refrag with the smoke down in the connector. Oh, sorry, that being the window. The connector smoke is down though. JW gone, but it's okay. He was dead anyway. It's actually Golden to respond. Zeus dead from the scout, so that's a good kill to get. Flusher again following up. fnatic are finding frags all around the map, and it's going to be heavily in their favor once again. Somehow they pull it back.
Bondic will be smoked off in this position, and Simple's on the other side of the map, so very disjointed are these Ts. Then again, the only defense at that B bomb site will be Lekro. And if Simple can overwhelm him up close, we could be looking at a bomb plant here, Hugo, but Simple then again is on 40 HP, so the MP9 a prime contender to take him. A little bit of movement by Lekro, spots out the bomb carrier. Now he knows, and Simple knows better. He will fall off, but could easily walk into the weight of Brolin. While Bondic creeps onto the A site, he will be spotted at afar. Now they have confirmation of both Ts, and still, Simple will push up towards this B bomb site. There we go. Instant headshots, instant kills. It was all in question, but not for very long. There we have it. fnatic with 8, 4th round of the board. Team Ukraine will have to wait, Hugo.
That's one of the issues with B, right? Especially if you're Simple in that position, because Lekro, all it takes is just a jump. It's not very much risk. Yes, you can get headshot. AWP is dangerous, but if you time it right, if you angle it right, and leave delays between the jumps, there's not much Simple can do, and you get so much info as well. You can spot that bomb, allow fnatic to keep 2 players on the site, and that just makes it around far too difficult for Team Ukraine. So fnatic 4-0 up. We've got pistols in for this T side. Back to basics in spawn, at least. But Ukraine underpass, top mid, looking to split mid. And fnatic with the rifles to contend with. These pistols may be difficult to find frags, so Deagles are good for openers at the very least. And armor on these players as well is going to add an extra bit of health. Zeus has to watch out, because Simple, he's baiting him in. Zeus can jump into the connector and potentially take this frag. It's not being covered by the CT side, but he doesn't know that just yet. Simple forced out by the Molotov and flusher to start things off. But Zeus, he's crept behind enemy lines.
Oh, he is so close to JW. Easily overwhelms him as he was reloading. Now Bondic could pop flush and he hits the headshot, but can't follow suit with those last 20 bits of damage. So it is Zeus inside the windowsill, hoping that Flusha presents himself. Flusha could exit as well through that B bomb site, but in fact he will linger on Catwalk. Despite being low HP, he will remain nearby. Now Markelov coming in at the bottom of middle could help out towards this A split. It's Golden that'll have to be surpassed eventually here. Flusha aware of the threat inside windows, calling it towards the CTs. Golden wants to maybe peek, and he will versus Markelov, taking him down, and it's traded back by Edwards. So 2 versus 2 towards the site, 20 seconds on the clock, and Brolin to contest this. The Molotov out in the open, that's going to prevent this plant for now, and especially as Lekro has the cross covered. Edward tries to duel with a Deeg. Brolin resides on tickets, stops Zeus with a headshot. Brolin jumps over, Edward contests, and Lekro saves it, bails them out from behind, and fnatic with 5 now. 0 for Ukraine.
Such a great round from fnatic, though. Given the situation they're in, given the positions that Ukraine had, we had that window control for Zeus, and that was the most important part, because not only can you use that to split into the B site through spawn, but also every CT on A needs to watch their back. They need to make sure they're not being wrapped from CT as well. So Zeus, he tries to make do with it. He is given an engagement to Flusha that only tags him down to 8 HP and allows Flusha a second chance at life, or a third, in fact. Ukraine, they get damage done with the pistols, but it's not enough. fnatic 5-0 up. But again, they were the same, Connor. If we think back to Overpass, it was 5-1 at one point. Ukraine brought it back in the end of the half, 9-6 in favor of fnatic. Now we move forward. Could this be a similar story? JW, though, he wants to take 6, as he's already got the AWP. He's tagged up Markelov in the apartments. A good start for fnatic, but plenty more damage to do if they want to take this round and carry on the streak, forcing Ukraine down to eco once again.
Set up in what? A headshot. Splatters the wall with gunshots. Hits the head in the meantime. Now, of course, Flusha scrambling over, trying to get ahead of this push. It is 2 players from Team Ukraine, but neither the bomb carrier here. Oh, Markelov posted with an op. And Lekro inside of mid, then finding the next kill. But Bondic still lingers to the backside. And if he hears this movement up Cat, he could just skewer this defense. There's Brolin down. Next up's Golden. He's tagged up, but Bondic on the full display will be dropped into the 2 versus 3. But Markelov yet again from this position in the apps. You can see the CTs contemplating the save, just watching their backside. It's tempting, I'm sure, to go for this after finding such impact, but with 2 AWPs on Ukraine, with the time already ticking quickly, it's going to be fnatic to forfeit this up. Do the terrorists exit alive? Simple should. Full health in an open route. Markelov, not so much.
Could go down towards underpass, but the bomb won't even kill him there. I don't know why he's exiting so heavily. Should have survived from that position, but maybe wanted to go a little bit further for that security. And he'll go down, but Ukraine find themselves around in the back of it, so it's okay for the time being. The issue is the money, right? fnatic easily going to be able to buy, especially when Ukraine lose 4 players. The money is low, and fnatic no. As the AWP is kept up for Simple, everyone else back on AKs. An AWP in the hands of JW. Will he go aggressive again? Will we see that fast mid play that we saw once before? Will Simple contend with it? Because it's very standard to hold the top of mid with that AWP on the T side, wait for the CT aggression, especially when you're up against a team like fnatic who are likely to be aggressive. Whoa. But Simple, he holds a different angle, yet still finds a kill. Brolin in the connector. First pick up for Ukraine.
What an incredibly late peek from Brolin, seeing as it comes with no utility.
Yeah.
No flashbang to peek in, and all of a sudden it's Simple with a pick. So Brolin offers himself up and gives away that man advantage, now doubled down upon by Zeus. Of course, the Flames plume at his feet, and flusha trying to find the stoppage to this push. Zeus will be removed. Markelov could be up next. He has created the distraction as the T's try to rotate over. flusha caught by Edward. Now the men coming out of the store are going to be in question here. That's Golden on the pillar up close, dropped by Markelov. And the bomb can do whatever it damn well pleases. Could have gone back towards A, but instead they'll walk past J-Dubs, and Simple stops him. Wins the op duel and keeps 4 men alive for Ukraine. So they are certainly starting to find something in this half. Took a little bit of time, but they have gotten another round of the board. And looking at fnatic, even though they could have possibly forced, they choose not to. They want to get their money back beneath them. Perfectly fine. A bit more conservative of a trend. And I'm all for it. They'll still have the double flashbang, the smoke to play with, and maybe some dirty deagles. But Simple finds Brolin yet again. Back-to-back rounds where he's the first to fall.
Back-to-back rounds where Simple opens it up with the AWP, showing his worth on this roster. Not that he needs to prove it at all. fnatic losing more. As JW's caught out, it's a deagle attempt for Golden, but with 3, 4, 5 shots all missing. There we go, 7th, it lands. But could have got a little bit more done. There's still a couple of players up in the Palace as well. Flush has rotated through, no armor, P250. Good luck at this range. And they're holding. Simple, what a flick. Even though it doesn't land, it's impressive that it's even close. Golden actually follows up, this time with the first shot. One of the early ones at least, and the second. Takes down Markelov. He could have got more, and he certainly does. Simple's alone in the Palace for the meantime, and Edward splits in through the connector, but now Flush has wrapped the CT spawn. As Lekro's pushed up, they know this will be an A play, but still it doesn't mean anything, because Ukraine, they haven't committed. Checking their back, making sure no one's coming from the flank, just to ensure themselves some confidence for the time being. Still got to be aware of ramp.
Golden struggled for that first frag. He's certainly followed it up quite cleanly. Now, can he get Simple? Yes, he can. What a dirty deagle Golden's got. But he is then sprayed from behind. So Lekro, a man who can deagle himself most certainly, will need to try and find Edward. He spots it, and they both make eyes. Then leading Edward to leave. He will head out towards that B site with 15 seconds on the clock. Molotov to block off the fast flank. This will then create an opportunity to surely find his plant. Lekro will run through this.
Balls on this man.
So well done. Edward on full display assumes he's got safety, but his neck is snapped backwards by Lekro, who comes up with 1 deagle, Golden finding 4. Woo!
An homage to Golden's deagles. What a round from both those players. fnatic pick up one they never should have. Ukraine, what can you say to that? They weren't even given an option. Not even necessarily played wrong. It's just that they pushed out, and every time they pushed, they got shot in the head by that deagle. Ridiculous stuff.
It's wild if you look at that first kill from Golden, right? He gets it on the 7th shot of the deagle. You're thinking, hey, buddy, maybe pick a different gun. If you stopped watching at that moment, you're left with a certain impression. If you watch the entirety of the round, you realize he just did it. Nearly on his own. Lekro cleaning it up, but Simple finding the first frag yet again with an AWP. 3rd round in a row, Hugo, where he finds that pick. But what do they do with it? Where do they go from here?
Careful. Roland's in connector, and Edwards up to the top of mid as well. Nade will force him into the open. Ratchy commits to the angle, but he takes damage as a result. 50 HP. Simple still posted on the angle as well, but 2 players in the connector. Very possible we could just see the flash over and burst into middle to try and contend with this man disadvantage. And we see Brolin and Golden push out. They both try and take fights. There's 2 players towards the top of middle. One makes it to underpass. That's Brolin. And he can actually wrap in up through B. With Marklov alone in the apartment, if Brolin gets up here, this is massive. Marklov's not going to have an idea as well. They don't know this player split towards the lower, and Brolin will find it. That's a kill up into B apartment. So Golden as well following up into lower mid. This is, into the Palace, not into lower mid. As Ukraine, they still have Zeus ready to split, but it's getting scary. Zeus follows up. With 30 seconds left, Ukraine need to make a play. The bomb wraps the spawn. Tries to come back in, but still fnatic have manpower.
And Zeus has presence here towards jungle. Lekro will fall off. 20 seconds on the clock. Team Ukraine playing with time yet again. But time not unlimited. Still will find this plant. Edward barely standing alive. Zeus as well now joins him. 25 health between the two. Simple spotted and tagged up towards mid. Brolin with a Molotov puts him into the open, but now it's all on Flusha. He doesn't have a smoke to cover the bomb, so he's going to have to find some kills first. Surely he can't do this, but then again, the HP was low for 2. Zeus already down. Edward still stands on 6, and Simple stands towards mid with that AWP, but time's the biggest issue. Flusha knows it. Forfeits the round over. Team Ukraine will find their 3rd, and fnatic will still double that score with an opportunity to buy in the next, I believe.
Gun's certainly going to help. Let's get saved over, and an opportunity, but not a good buy by any means. And with loss, I would like a save. Buy up next round. No rush. Actually, how much loss do they have? It's only, yeah, it should only be 2K, right? Actually, so a force would make some sense. And yeah, they will go for it, actually. Right. So miscalculated that, but either way, fnatic won't, and they've got the buy on their hands. 2 rifles, 1 SMG double pistol. Ukraine back in with full guns. And Simple. Will it be 4 rounds in a row that he finds the opening kill? Very possible. It's fnatic 3 men up on A. We've got just a standard setup across the board here. Ukraine focus on top mid. And 1 player in the Palace again. We also have JW pushed up to the edge of the balcony, so he has to be careful. As Lekro jump spots on B, Ukraine don't show too much face at the moment. But they're looking for this B split. They're looking to bring the bomb up through short, or at least that's how it seems. With 1 player coming through the underpass, they could easily navigate back towards the A site through connector, and Bonda could easily join them, but he's already wrapped back towards the T spawn. It's Brolin to spot the first player from underpass. That gives information that they may be going for this A play.
Meanwhile, Flusha starts to come up from mid, and he's the man on the AK, right? So if there's anybody to duel in mid, it could be him. But with 3 players here, he also does not want to go traded. Brolin comes in from window. It's a crucial kill. Takes Ukraine down to 4, leaves the bomb on the floor for now, and Edward gets into the ladder room. Lekro's Deagle posted up on apps. Golden being fired at by Bondic will cross straight into the open, and JW's unable to trade right away. Molotov burns Lekro off his spot, and JW does get that kill in towards Palace. So there is an opportunity now for to hit that B site because they realize they've lost their footing elsewhere, and with Zeus and Edward finding kills, it is the 3 versus 2 advantage with a bomb plant to boot. Team Ukraine seeking their 4th. And unfortunately for fnatic, they have no kits or utilities for this retake. Smoke or flash would be great in this position because Brolin can't jump out from the window. He'd have to check both sides very quickly, and that's a tough ask of him. But seeing Markelov towards bench, and getting some space outwards. Now 2 kills straight back. It's on to Zeus. He hits 1 headshot. And it's going to be JW with an M4 up close, trying to force it into the fight here. But he knows there's no time. He falls off, and that we have it. Team Ukraine with another round of the board. And they get this one through. So close was that retake from fnatic. If only they had a kit. If only they had a moment longer.
Good job by Zuso holding on. He takes a quick 1v1 fight, and that's far more favorable. If he leaves it, they get close and they can overrun him easily. But if he turns it into a 1v1, it's suddenly doable. He can afford to play time. And that he does. 4 rounds in for Ukraine now. fnatic back down on pistols, and this is not a round you force, as Loss has actually built this time. So 2,400 in next round, combined with the minimum, which is 19, they will have just enough to buy 43 without kills. So good enough for fnatic to actually go for the investment as Ukraine, they again set up towards middle. It's simple, up with the AWP, but USP taps away. Brolin, so much damage, one more shot needed, but he has to get a reload in. He runs out of ammo. So Simple gets away with 8 HP, but he may re-peek for more. Brolin shows his shoulder, Simple waits. But he calls for support, doesn't want to make the opening fight. They've already lost a man, they don't need to lose 2. Even against full USPs, these rounds are still doable, as difficult as they can be. flusha continues to tag, hoping he'll catch Simple, who's already low, and JW on the flank. That one rifle in play will hear these footsteps. It's not being watched. Bondic's trapped through the T-spawn, and there's 2 players here. JW has support. He's spotted, and he's dead as well. Lecro still here. Bondic needs to be aware of the potential, but he turns back around.
In the meantime, flusha found another kill in the USP. Does Bondic thoroughly clear these corners? Absolutely. Finds Lecro, who never had a chance to upgrade to the gun. And while Team Ukraine has certainly been slowed down in this round, tagged up as well, both Bondic and Zeus hit quite heavily. Team Ukraine have restabilized for the moment. I feel like the play to make at this point is to head out towards that B bomb site, whether by catwalk or apartments. Whatever you do, just stick together. You've controlled the weaponry. Whether they know it or not, isolating the gunfights from fnatic would be the best way to do it. They are currently split, and in fact, nobody's over here towards the B site. Open for the taking, unless flusha gets back inside, but he will cross through the flames, tapping away towards Bondic, dealing damage, but not getting an additional kill. He still sits on 1, and then he's blasted away. So Golden grabs an AK, the fruits of his labor. That's a 5th round to Ukraine now, making it par for the course on the T side of Mirage. Hugo. Still wild to me, of course, that that single USP play towards middle even gets so much damage dealt. Think about how close Simple was to dying right away. That would have then put the Team Ukraine in a 3 versus 5. Scary stuff.
And then you just have the ball rolling for fnatic. Even if you only have USPs, if you take that kind of advantage, it's just a momentum game, right? You can easily close it out. And even trades are good enough at that point, 1-for-1s, which is totally possible with the USP. And again, JW, he had an M4 into that round. It was close. It was definitely a doable one, but the pieces didn't fall into place, and instead it's Ukraine back up to 5. Good T-side so far, but we're early days. Again, this is seeming similar to that of the previous map with the early start for fnatic and then Ukraine pulling it back, but it was a 9-6 half even after a very similar scoreline to this, in fact. I think it was this round that fnatic picked up in the previous map, if I remember correctly. Let's see if history repeats itself or if Ukraine can go one step ahead and keep himself on this streak. It's Brolin, aggression in the palace. Bondic finds the kill. And Team Ukraine already off to a man advantage, exactly what they need.
Patient play from Ukraine, leaving just Edward here to spot mid. Clearly with the bomb still dropped, they're not making any commitments as of yet. And in fact, with the smoke grenade over from spawn, I think Edward's going to take a more forward stance. But speaking of that, Golden goes around as well, just as Bondic leaves this position. And so he shall lurk. Now, even if they find that kill onto Bondic, that could be the trigger for Team Ukraine to just charge up catwalk and split this B bomb site. Positioning from fnatic is good. They've got a man committed to bench. They've got Lecro closer towards Van. A bit of an off angle that could surely catch Zeus off guard, especially with no Molotov to clear that close corner. But even more critically is killing the bomb. And now 1 by 1 they fall. fnatic just picking them to pieces. Edward trying to bail them out here. But where do you go? You've lost your feeler towards the B site. Sure enough, the man in Palace was already dead because Golden goes on that tear. So it's Markelov to try and crack A site open. And if he can find the kill to JW, then Team Ukraine can still bring this back into their hands.
But JW's playing so passive, he only needs to get this one frag to drop the bomb. Markelov won't even have time. But Edward, a crucial shot lands the head, as now he can get the bomb down, and flusha coming in from the CT spawn. The plant will go through, but it's actually on the other side. He fakes it, and he goes back for more. Will be able to land it the second time and not stopped from short. His teammate defends him. flusha comes back in, but he's already shot. They know he's here. They don't know Lecro, however, but trade is going to be there. Markelov can wrap in through mid and defend the bomb. Flusher has no utility and no kit, but it's a fake. Markelov stays in the jungle and he'll peek out. Flusher is aware for the first and he gets it. Ridiculous. Markelov goes to the fight. Maybe a bit too aggressive because Flusher, just off the back of that, he has time for the defuse and that's not a round he should be winning.
Flusher versus Markelov.
Classic duo.
Fantastic stuff. We saw it on Overpass in back-to-back rounds. Flusher comes up with both. Here again on Mirage. Man's got Markelov's number. Both legends of the game. And yet today is Flusher on top. Now fnatic with a 2-point lead. Ukraine back in with a bye. Limited, surely, as Simple has no utility. No helmet, which could come at a cost for the guns here now capable of the one-tap headshot. And of course, little utility and weapons for Zeus, poor guy. But hey, he's got a bomb. And that's something to work with. As the smoke plumes on Palace, this T side will fall back. Looked like maybe they wanted to go for the connector Palace peak quick. They could still overwhelm Brolin inside of connector if necessary. But it looks like Team Ukraine are just going to go back into a more standard default, clearing out the apartments, making sure that they haven't already lost so much map control that they would be walking into a trap. As the smoke fades, Brolin falls back for now. Could always come back. They do still have many grenades on that CT side.
Minute on the clock. Ukraine, as always, slow. And again, this is formation of the Na'Vi roster with ex and current players. It's Brolin, first spot. Sees Zeus trying to get into the connector. Now Ukraine have a lot of presence here and they'll charge up. Simple first kill. That's a gun drop for Zeus as well. Golden's up towards a Palace, but he's got to be wary of the connector now as players push on in. Bondik, he's going to take him down anyway. The split doesn't matter. JW, we've seen him here before, but he had no effect last time. This time they don't know. And they're going to run right in. One kill for him. Turns around for the bomb plant, but he gets nothing done. It's Markelov to stop him and Flusher to stop the bomb. Now leaves Simple alone. What has happened? This is so in control for Ukraine. And now the impossible has been made likely. fnatic may pick up this round with 2 missed shots from Simple uncharacteristic. He has to chase. And a third. Flusher's just playing with his food before he finally eats it up. And Simple, a no-scope. 6 seconds left. He needs the plant. And he may just have it in time. It will come down to the milliseconds. And it's just down. As Simple crosses back towards a spawn. The repeat won't land. And Electro picks up the round. Again, it's the 1v1 on the A site. And it's again fnatic to take it ahead.
Of course, Simple repeaks that, right? Yeah. He wants to find Lecro pushing up towards this staircase. And sure enough, Lecro waits on the other side.
How do fnatic win that?
Oh, incredible stuff. Honestly, Markelov, okay, we saw the same mistake coming in from, it was Limitless on Mirage, where they tried to plant on the short side of the triple stack, and instead of planting on the right side in the terrace perspective where you're fully in cover, you plant on the left where your kneecap's exposed. So Flusha sitting next to Ticket, sees Markelov trying to plant, and it's not even like he's got to go for the wild spray through the box. No, he just cleans up the kill.
And the crazy part is there's no tactical advantage to planting in that exact spot over a meter to the right where you can't be seen from CT. It is a mistake, and he'll pay the price. They'll lose a round because of it. And off the back of that, that may have big consequences for these last couple because Ukraine are now forcing the bomb plant down. They'll go for the investment instead of ecoing because they're not happy with 6.5. They want 7. So they want to win both these rounds, and they set up fast for A.
Golden's still standing on top of this Balk, though. This is a dangerous position with an MP9. He will peek wide. Able to catch one. The flashbangs blind everybody in the process. No one can see. No one knows what's up. And even the man in Palace can't find the kill, but Markelov can. Removing Golden from above. Now CTs rotate in through spawn. There's 3 players there, one of which down. That's Brolin. And JW still trying to find himself a pluck, a pick, something into this round. And in fact, Team Ukraine, recognizing the opportunity to leave, just do so. They stand up, dust themselves off, and will re-engage elsewhere as they have ample opportunity. The one thing they've lost is utility. No set-piece execution can be thrown. Bondik could clear Van if they hit that B bomb site, but what about Flusha in mid? He finds Edward. right through the edge of the boxes with a headshot. Re-peeks into 3 potential targets. Can he find another? Yes,
no.
Taps away and deals damage as well, dwindling it into the 2 versus 2, and now leaving Team Ukraine at a disadvantage. Not only because, of course, Zeus is tagged, but because they've got 20 seconds left, and they walk into Lekro. But Bondik with a crucial kill now, and Ukraine will jet stream their way to that B-bomb site. They're gonna need to desperately plant, and JW will eventually come over in an attempt to retake. They get here with just enough time, and it's planted for Catwalk as JW comes up from that exact position.
Ukrainian players and last-second bomb plants name a more iconic duo. Maybe JW and Clutches as he quickly pushes back up through short. Bondik spots, but he just needs to take down Zeus. It's a 1v1, very easy considering Zeus is low as well. Spots the first, but Bondik takes it. Both players low, 8 HP between them, but Ukraine, they've got themselves a 6th. We said it right before the round. The buy with 2 rifles, they weren't happy with 6.5. They want to go for 7, and they may certainly find it because Fnatic's money is gone. These last few rounds have come down to the 1v1s for both sides. And so Fnatic losing the last round or taking a beating as a result. They've been shut down. The soft reset, putting them onto pistols. It's armor and utility, but not much of it. As Ukraine set up to clean up the half with 7 rounds on the T side, and that would be a fantastic half as well, considering they are a map up. They took Overpass, and they look to take Mirage.
JW's position towards underpass is cleaned up first and foremost. Now he had Brolin and Flusha to help out towards mid, but he himself was alone. Like the lone bullet that cleans Flusha straight off of Catwalk. So 3 CTs remain. A big ask of pistoled players. Team Ukraine not giving up this opportunity. They will remain vigilant and reserved here towards the top of mid, inside of apps, and even back towards the exits of Palace. They're even going to throw this fake over towards the B-bomb site. Simple getting a kill in mid, that's big. As it cuts out the underpass man. So now they have no knowledge of whether or not there are still players in apps, and in fact, it's Ukraine to hit that A site. So a very good hit towards B, clears up A unconventionally. Golden's going to have to try and stop them, and I say best of luck.
Oh, we've seen some crazy deeks before from this exact man. These 2, in fact. And this map alone. Can they do it where it really matters, though? 1 shot connects, 2 as well, but neither of them find the finishing blow. As Golden looks for more, he lands it. He's getting so much damage off, but he's not hitting the bullets. Lekro falls in as well, but he only falls to his death. With him gone, Golden's alone. And he's given away his position. Everyone can just hunt him down. And Ukraine, they take a flawless one for the final of the half. Good stuff at the end as well. Look, similar to the previous map in the sense that Fnatic kicked it off with economy control for the first 5 rounds of the half. But then it was back and forth. And Ukraine take it, not in their favor, but considering the start that Fnatic showed, other than the first 5, Ukraine took 7 out of 10.
It's definitely something to come back with. I mean, again, reminiscent of their first game in this series. A map that they ultimately walked away with. So by no stretch of the imagination can we see Ukraine finding a second. Pistol, though, very important. Always important when it comes down to these very close score lines, because who's going to get that opening bout of momentum? It's not always often that you get yourself versus broken buys, but a pistol converts it. Guarantees that opportunity. And I'm sure that Ukraine would seize it with both hands. If they can, of course. We need to wait and see. I'm excited.
Me too, Connor, me too. 2-map victory, or do we go to Inferno? It's just dangerous territory for both teams. But always a good bit of fun. Every map we've casted has been a 3-map series, or every match, that being said. And this may not be an exception as well. This is damn close, though. And as you say, pistol is so important, dependent on that right now. But that's no different to usual. It's nice to see Edward top of the board as well. That's something again, like Simple's been having a lot of impact with the AWP, a lot of opening kills and opening rounds, but a lot of the rounds they're losing. It's Edward and Bondic to really be the point men for the team today.
Simple, Bondic, and Edward being the top 3 fraggers is the same situation that we saw yesterday versus Walolos, at least on Overpass.
Yeah.
It was kind of Edward on A, Bondic on B, and then Simple roaming with the AWP. So
expected the Zeus takes a more backseat role either way, being the cooler. I imagine Kane has some input into this team, but I can't say how much, because I don't know. But I'm sure Zeus is the man behind the majority of that. The way JW fallen off a little bit this map, he was having a great performance on Overpass, but that doesn't seem to be the same case here. And on a map dependent on AWPers, he needs to step up as well, because Simple has been winning all these duels. As we say, opening kills across the board, win or lose, it's always Simple. I imagine the CT side will be very similar. It's crazy to think that Fnatic stomped Russia in the quarterfinals, if I'm correct, it was. No, it was in the round of 12. Because it was the quarterfinals, they beat AGO, but it was a round of 12, they took 16-9 and 16-8 versus Russia, only to be a map down to Ukraine in an equal scoreline at the halftime. Ukraine definitely proving to be a stronger team than that of the Russian lineup, which didn't seem too bad at all. We've got players like Electronic in there.
Electronic and World Edit, two of the standout stars when Team Russia made such a convincing run at the last WESG main event in China. Again, World Edit, I believe, does come to life when he is allowed to be let loose.
As does Simple, the counter-AWPer for the Ukrainian side, but when is he not let loose? That's the question.
Yeah. Also, Electronic, another man who has recently been let loose, joining Navi.
Thank God.
Trying to find... I remember the day that happened. Our dear friend Tom Biz was ecstatic, a big fan of Electronic.
The biggest fan.
The biggest Electronic fan.
I am not arguing that. He is the biggest fan. But it makes me question now with Flipside, right? Do they make the major? Because they make every major, Connor.
Flipside always makes the major.
They always make it. And we were talking about this earlier, weren't we? A couple of days ago. We were saying they always, in Swiss, right, the last 2 majors, they go to the last Swiss game. They go 2-2, either qualification or elimination, and they win it in OT every time. First it was Mouse Sports, then it was Liquid.
Yeah. The thing is that Flipside were always making major legendary status.
Yeah, they've fallen off.
Now they've, regressed a little. And if obviously, as of late, NIP is looking fantastic. But I remember saying to myself, oh, NIP didn't make a major final. Oh, they didn't make the semis or the quarters. Or the EU minor.
Or the closed qualifier for the minor.
So maybe Flipside falls into that category. But after a little delay, we're right back in with a fast pace by Fnatic. They will charge their way, or at least attempt to get into this A site. Edward on the staircase. He's popping noggins, finds 2. And Flusher responds with 1 of his own, but Edward on pistols. Gets himself an impactful 3K, finds Ukraine the tying 8th round, and gives them that opening bout of momentum. But Fnatic, just as fast as they hit that A site, buy up into this one.
Good start for Ukraine, exactly what they needed. But Fnatic, that's the half they wanted. Again, they need to bring this to Inferno, but Ukraine going to do anything but let them. They have 3 rifles into this, a couple of SMGs as well. Fnatic, the Eagles, dangerous. And with head armor, it won't make a difference with the Ukraine. They've got to watch out. It's a burst out through ramp. Flash can be set up, and it will be. That's a smoke and a flash going over. Now they can just charge a bomb site. Bondic, he's alone, stuck in the middle of things, in the thick of things, but they run right past him, and he can spray one down, let Grow dead. A 1-for-1's good at the very least, but he would have hoped for more. Not only was Simple tagged up, but also with pistols in the hands of Fnatic, now upgraded off the back of Bondic going down, but he was left out to dry. There was no support from his team. It's Zeus coming in with the MP7. 1 for him. Not quite simple on this gun, but they've only swapped over. Zeus looking for 2. He finds them both. This retake starting off well.
And Brolin's going to still be behind the boxes just for a moment longer. It's Golden on the Deagle. And while Fnatic had created a golden opportunity, it's stripped away by Team Ukraine on the retake. Very well done, but barely. Between Markelov and Simple having 30 HP, that would have left Edward up at the end. So another explosive entry from Fnatic onto that A site nets them a bomb plant. Not going to be enough to get a 3rd round bye, of course. They will have to wait patiently. until the next. They still, however, can play around, have a little fun with some deagles and a CZ for Flusha. No utilities whatsoever, and if they do grab a gun, Brolin's got Kevlar, so he could obviously mitigate the aim punch. And of course, fnatic heading 3 players towards B earlier on, looking to make a stance inside the apartments. Markelov will jump next to Van, and Simple kicks this off with a push towards mid. Zeus cleaning up the underpass will leave this into an instant 5v3. Hugo, so fast were those frags.
So easy for Ukraine. They don't lose a man in the process. 5 up. And flashback into the apartments. Letcro as well smoothed off. He's not going to be going down, but instead it's Brolin up through ramp dead to Bondik, and Edward follows up. Now it is just Letcro. And with Markelov not already tagged, he's got to hit the one deagle, though this man is known for doing exactly that. However, he's being flanked, or at least the bomb's being held. That's Simple. They know he's up here. It's the only position of the map they haven't actually cleared yet, aside from Palace, and no one's even looking there. The fact that the bomb's positioning is back towards apps, and they have everywhere else under their control, they should have some knowledge. Maybe footsteps have been heard as well, because Markelov started to move his way down the apartments, although Simple's checking the T-spawns. They clearly don't. With that as well, the bomb's going to be taken, given away by Ukraine, but the sites are still under control, so it's not exactly a free win or a free bomb plant for Letcro as he works his way out mid. It'll only be a second before Ukraine spots him. It's all about damage, Connor. Can he find a couple of kills? Can he open up this round to keep Ukraine's economy low? He certainly may be able to. Edwards watching the wrong angle, but it's about timing. Does he turn? He doesn't. He gets a shot and Letcro dead. Zeus comes in from the connector. Everyone from Ukraine swivels around, but they give up a lot of control there in the 5-on-1 where they really didn't need to.
No. You're right, Hugo, but they'll be okay.
They'll be fine.
You doing all right?
I'm doing great.
Glad to hear it. Here comes the AKs.
Prediction's going well, Connor.
I don't make predictions.
You call fnatic to win this round, this map.
Let's see it. On the AKs, can fnatic swing it back? Can the Swedes put up a fight, or do Team Ukraine, now that they're in double digits, just go sailing forward? Edward can no longer try and get into the position. So you know what? The setup now changes because he doesn't hit the jump. He's supposed to be on Cat right now. That would have helped Markelov. Edward will still start to creep his way upwards. With a volley of utility towards mid, the T's do just then hit this. If he was intended to be inside the ladder room, then he is not afforded that because of the flub jump, and Markelov then just gets deleted off of B. Simple trying to find some kind of an angle, but through smokes and flames, he will fade and blast it away with the frag grenade from fnatic. Here we have it, 5 versus 2. Team Ukraine. Where'd you go?
Hopefully going to go for the save, because this is not a winnable round. Zeus won't even try. He looks to take the fight, and he's dead to Letcro. In the blink of an eye, it's Bondik alone, and saving an MP7 as well. Maybe he'll get an AK just here, but timing gets the better of him. Now they know where he is. He needs to take a fight. He needs to clear out the T-spawn, because otherwise he's going to get hounded from ramp. And Flush has fallen back as well. I like this, not playing aggressive. Bondik double flash. He's so blind, he can't see a thing. He's got to turn back. And he does, but only to his death. Brolin cleans it up, and fnatic low HP across 3 players. Very low HP, but they lose no one. So exactly what they need, keeping players alive and keeping money strong for the time being, as Ukraine, not the same story. Edward can't buy. Markelov can in replacement, but we're going to have to see a UMP or an MP7 or back to a CZ, back to basics. It's actually a FAMAS, but he forfeits the utility and the kit as a result, and we don't have many of that. 2 kits across his CT side into a full buy. And fnatic again back in towards middle, looking to play heavy and fast. Letcro on the other side, posted for Simple and a good shot to start things off. There's the first. Couple more they could line up. They've got to be careful as well. Simple known to hit these kind of shots, and he doesn't hit the second. Will fall back off the back, but Edward dead in mid. So fnatic have at least traded back that original pick. Simple's efforts gone in vain, and Markelov got to watch out on the B site as fnatic look to burst.
Markelov will find a bit more safer footing, and Zeus then makes things safer with a headshot of his own. Flusha would love to find an entry into this bomb site, but unfortunately for him, his teammates aren't near, so he should not push. Of course, the bomb's still at his feet. He could just grab it and fall off. The smoke would cover such a play, but right now he's got a teammate finally arriving. And Golden, still residing within mid, has the last bit of utility here. A Molotov now thrown out. Still, Team Ukraine are filtering their players through market, or at least closer to it. Golden contesting connector. Now that the flames have faded, he has to worry of window. And of course, with 35 seconds left, fnatic have opted to fall back. They will go from underpass into mid. Could boost a player window, and that would be a fantastic play. It would allow for them not only to hold off the rotation that they probably forced into the B bomb site, but could even catch a kill off guard. Now, Zeus is getting curious in and of himself. 20 seconds now. They're going to have to make the play, and Zeus, he doesn't spot it. Flusha takes him down, and we're even keel 3v3, but Bondic from beneath finding 2. And Flusha with a response now finds Simple up close. The off missing its shots, and just in the nick of time, Flusha finds this bomb plant. Markelov versus Flusha again, and Markelov will try successfully so. Finally, he wins a clutch v Flusha, and Ukraine will continue on with a 2-point lead.
You would have bet your house on Flusha in that situation as well. The amount of times those guys have dueled in 1v1s over these 2 maps, and Flusha's come ahead. He has, well, had 100%. Now that is not the case. 11 rounds up for Ukraine, and while they take it in a 1v1 with already low money, the round is what's important. However, fnatic can rebuy and find the reset. So Ukraine are not out the woods just yet. Rifles in, Simple on that AWP, saved from Markelov after the clutch, and Zeus, maybe a FAMAS, maybe an SMG. No, he gets an M4 with no utility and no kit either. Ukraine can't afford to let this round slip, because if they do, then it's even Stevens once again. fnatic can be up to 11 easily. Nice nades, but Edward just gets out in the nick of time. 4 nades in mid, in fact, and he avoids every single one, only on 70 HP. But because of that, they won't expect someone to be in window. Doesn't matter, they smoke it anyway. As they try and split through the connector, Zeus is there to damage JW, and they fall back off the back of that. fnatic not committing, but instead they wrap back towards B. And there's no defense there. Ukraine have drawn everyone off the site. Markov only just going to sneak back in through, but with 5 players up, Ukraine don't have anyone other than him. Strange to see. Edward only just surviving as well with a smoke down in connector. He can still watch the top to see if Lekro splits into short, but the smoke down for himself too. fnatic are going to walk in, and Markelov, he has a lot to do.
Ooh. Edward's fully blind. Now that could have been the opportunity for players to come up. Cat, he has no clue. When in fact, that is not the case. It is Team Ukraine trying to hold off versus Apartments as JW's boots hit the dirt. Markelov hits the headshot. That's Golden now down. And a second player killed. This Team Ukraine will look to hold yet again. Success from them, but Lekro firing back with 2 kills. Drops to Simple. Something done there towards the end of the round by fnatic. They get some footing, they get some kills, but they will not get a chance to buy here in this round. A superb CT side starting to come to life from Team Ukraine. The effective reset amidst it all definitely helps them. The kill differential from Ukraine very narrow, from 17 to 12. And even Markelov 2 behind the next. Pistols yet again from fnatic. No utility, no Kevlar. And not much of a chance as they head between underpass and B, looking to find early footing. And looking maybe to find a plant.
Crazy to think the team that could take down fnatic in 2 maps, Ukraine, is a team that lost to Godsent, the arguably less superior team from Sweden in the group stages, but we're not done yet. JW snuck round, Simple's expecting it, P250 to the head, but he gets shot in the back from Brawl and gives away his position, and a dink's not enough, because Simple hits the first shot with the AWP. Edward up short looks to hunt kills as well, but he's already been killed from this position before, not again. 1 for him, Bondic follows up as well. Ukraine 13-9, good anti-eco, not an issue, dispatching of those players. Now fnatic back on the buy. This is it with it all to play for. If fnatic don't pick up their 10th round here and now, Ukraine take 14 and force fnatic to no cash. They'll have 4-round loss bonus, and that is it. And that is not enough, Connor. They need the money. While Ukraine run double SMG, which is the only risk here, there's still certainly a good chance they can pick it up. Duck from Brolin, he crosses, so Simple won't find that pick, but he's hungry and he wants more. Nade in, Brolin tagged, and he's close still.
They could seriously disrupt this offense. Brolin gonna find his headshot, then traded straight back by Simple, who attempts to retreat, but he sees players as he jumps high, and he will be caught by Lekro. Still, Bondic just beneath, going 1 for 1, and Edward arriving from stairs now, cutting it down to the 2 versus 2. A man advantage back for the CT side as Golden takes his plant. Now he has no utility to get himself out of this position, but the cover of the smoke versus Markelov allows for him to cross. He will get closer towards the stairs. Would love to isolate some fights here. And remember, Markelov's on an MP9. That's not going to be enough to win this duel straight away, but early damage dealt, 40 HP left over. Edward tagged up, they double peek. Nice. Greatly done. Nice. Team Ukraine with aggression towards A, get themselves into the man advantage and clean up in the after plant. That is 14-9 as they find themselves another round. A CT side that just keeps giving.
One round for Fnatic on their entire T half. That is not something you would have expected of Mirage, of their map pick. And it's not even necessarily their fault. It's coming down to the clutches. They're just losing out. It's why Ukraine's economy isn't the best, although last couple of rounds it's certainly changed with that anti-eco. We've been seeing a lot of buys. And Fnatic, due to the bomb plant, they can buy up here and now, so it's not over. They've still got to buy ahead of them, but that being said, 14-9. With no sign of this stopping. Simple, he mollies himself. I think he intended for the molly to go a little bit deeper, so he could at least peek with it. But no, it goes shallow, so he can't go for the fight. He, in fact, gets burned by it. There's a strategy behind that somewhere, but Simple won't be able to land it. And now Markelov, he's going to be tasked towards B to deal with this. Lekro's found a pick on short, and they'll be splitting up towards his site. And good entry from JW. They push with all their might. They might be able to take the site once and for all, as Ukraine are forced out with 3 players left standing.
Bondic's going to find the kill towards Lekro, so at least a response from Team Ukraine, but hell, this one's already too far gone. We watched Fnatic try to claw their way back on overpass. No doubt in my mind they can still do this. One thing we really haven't seen is much AWP play from Fnatic. JW suffering statistically versus a man like Simple who's been hitting some pretty crucial shots. AWP abuse here from Team Ukraine, but still doable. They're going to have to turn this around. Remember, this has been a very lackluster T side so far from Fnatic. But at any given point with a buy like this, they can turn it off. No pause called, but still recomposed with a purchase. Double AWP here for the CTs. Both Markelov and Simple equipped with one. It's going to be Markelov heading towards the B site as per usual, and Simple posted up here in mid. Doesn't go for any kind of a jump, but there's a missed mid smoke. Window is supposed to be smoked right now. They might walk into their deaths, but Simple gives them a second life as he misses his first shot and smokes himself out, nullifying the missed Molotov from Fnatic. Tough grenade throws coming in from the Swedes. And Simple, patient in his corner, has given up that mid control, and Edward falls back.
Ooh, careful. Simple, close, easy. Superior to the AK of JW. He's going to go for the no-scope. Optimistic, but he hits the next shot. Goes down to Golden. Maybe not worth it, but oh, Golden with the misspray. He thinks he takes a head off of Zeus, but it's just a dink instead. Luckily, Lekro will bail him out with a kill onto Edward as he gets aggressive, but Fnatic back in the driving seat, at least temporarily. While 2 players tagged up heavy, Zeus is also in a similar spot, and he looks to challenge more. If he jumps up here, he'll jump to his death. But a quick peek, Golden ready. Nice shot from him, pulls it even further for Fnatic. And Ukraine, this is how you fall apart. Last round for Fnatic, and this one seeming to be the same, but it's not over yet. There's Markelov on B. Will 1.6 repeat itself? Will history come back? As Markelov holds the angle down towards the B site, Golden gets ready to walk in. He's low already, but the AWP will certainly finish it. The rest of Fnatic, however, bursting the A site, and Bondic is there, ready and waiting. Hides on the site, needs to find a 1v1 before multiple players split out, and he's expecting multiple positions, but instead he's being wrapped from behind. Turns round, there's one. Looks for more, but it's Fluster to climb the top side of the balcony to find the kill. Now Markelov, he's found one already with the AWP. He needs 2 more.
Of course, Lekro's hiding behind that position up on Balk. It's actually Flusha behind the firebox as well. So both players just looking to cower in their corners. And Markelov convinced to fall back here. Does he fully save, or is he just looking for a different angle? He doesn't currently have his kit. But Bondic could have dropped one on that bomb site. Sees the man on the cross. Misses his shots, and so he will concede this. That's Fnatic with an 11th. And Bondic could have seriously held off on that bomb site. The Molotov at his feet was, of course, meant to not allow the players to round that corner. He even isolates the kill towards Brolin, so he did a very good job. But, of course, it was the player from Fnatic that took the top side of Balk, sprayed down upon him, and neither he could hold it off, nor could Markelov arrive in time. So, Team Ukraine will buy their own time with a tactical pause. 2 consecutive from Fnatic, something that we had not seen from this T side. We saw a very slow start from the T side of Ukraine, only getting their first in the 6th round. Because of that reset happening in the 4th of the second half versus Fnatic, it makes sense that they're behind. And it is never too late. These players know that. flusha and JW from the golden age of Fnatic comebacks. By all means, no stranger to these sorts of situations. And of course, it's not the Swedish team that's buy is in question. It is that of Team Ukraine. They'll piece it together with lacking utility, a single kit, and a UMP on Zeus. Again, they afford the double op setup. And again, while Markelov goes towards B, it is Simple here on triple stack. Now, JW's opping from ramp, and Simple feels this pressure. Can't get back right away and doesn't want to die, so he smokes himself off for safety. And Bondic from the staircase as Markelov holds off on mid. Now Fnatic, they're just going to have to come in from both Palace and ramp. They have no other option here, Hugo.
Simple, he stays in the site. He doesn't want to fall back fully. Watching from the CT spawn, making sure they're not out balcony. As Fnatic, they've slowed it down, putting the seed of doubt into Ukraine's mind. But look at the wrap from Zeus. He's in the T-spawn. He knows they're committing. And so do the rest of Ukraine as the footsteps are made into sandwich Fnatic go. Potential boost up, but it doesn't matter. Simple hits a shot through the pixel. Golden dead. And Bomb Plant yet to come in. JW wallbangs through triple and takes Simple down. A massive kill, but still we have this flank. Bomb Plant can come in safely with double control towards the CT spawn. Edward will finally come in later. And Electro won't expect it, but aimed wrong. Edward has to pull down Markelov with another kill, and here's the flank. Here's where it takes effect, because there's only one player left. It doesn't even matter. Markelov, great defense, 3 kills on the AWP. What Simple can't do, Markelov makes up for it in Ukraine. 15 rounds here on the CT side. 1 away from heading to the grand finals of WESG Barcelona.
Markelov with very impactful kills there in this round. Obviously, the first one is most important, I'd say, because it cuts off that 3rd prong of the assault from Fnatic. With no mid control, their hands are forced. They pinch out from both Palace and ramp. And while they get their bomb plant and a little bit of after plant positioning for a moment, it was, of course, that big flank from Team Ukraine that really ensured the round. Even had Markelov not gotten 2 more kills after the fact, they did have that wrap, which would have then come through. So Team Ukraine fighting off Fnatic for 4 rounds now. And Fnatic going to go towards the top of mid earlier on. They've left the bomb inside the lip of apartments. And again, a similar stack from Team Ukraine here towards mid. Very little presence on that A-bomb site. And that's fine, because nobody goes there from Fnatic. A volley of grenades from each direction here on mid. Markelov has to be wary of underpass, so with a frag grenade, he tries to soften them up, but it's 3 quick kills from Fnatic. Markelov trading with op frags again. He gets 2. And JW blasts him out of the cubby, so Edward now on that B-bomb site, 1 versus 3. And flusha and Golden, well, they have to go get bomb, but this gives time for JW to try and figure out where exactly this last CT resides. And it is, of course, up Catwalk. With Edward playing patiently into the ladder room, he's waiting to find any movement from Fnatic, looking for some kind of presence, some sign to work with. And what's worrisome here, of course, is that with JW clearing out the B site, he's going to call that it's clear. And while the site itself is open, Edward lingers near. JW spotted and successful. Headshot straight through Edward, Cat under control, and Fnatic taking it down to only a 3-round difference.
And that's a reset as well, Ukraine. Right as they grab themselves map and match point here to head to the finals, Fnatic come right back in with a buy round of their own. A heavy mid-control round. It works perfectly. They get the entries. Markelov seems like he can change it, but the dunk from JW changes that. And Ukraine, their money's gone. They've got to concede this round with a P250 and a CZ. That's all they have to play with. We should be seeing Fnatic take 13, and then it's anyone's game. Then Ukraine are back on the buy, but already Electro fast. Confidence back in the eye as Fnatic look to find entries quickly. They do so exactly that as they start to push up short as well. They've got the ladder room control. Bomb actually going to fall back. Well, we have aggression from Team Ukraine in the T-spawn. Brolans bypassed them by pushing up through ramp, so he's going to be able to take A. This bomb's going to reconsider, and if this bomb goes back through the T-spawn and tries to hit this A site, it will meet these two players who've pushed spawn. But instead, it might wrap underpass. It's that deep already. It may as well. Flusher walks into B, and JW finds a pick as well, so yeah, surely B at this point. Brolans' position, while good, isn't needed. It's all simple, and he finds nothing. Now the two bought pistols have yet to have impact into this round, but here's where they need to. Even if Ukraine can't find the round, they need to find kills and keep Fnatic's money down.
Even more damage dealt here. Bondik with a prime position to maybe get some kills. Eventually, Fnatic, surely they will trickle back through apps. Of course, damage not necessarily enough. Fnatic with a win, so long as they keep 3 players up, will easily rebuy into the next. Maybe Bondik just wants a gun for his own to move forward into the next round. But you know what? Fnatic, they don't trust it. They smell the rat, and so they head elsewhere. Up through Cat, where it is safe. And therefore finding 13. Fnatic just...
Oh my god.
Goodbye. Denied. Golden with the headshot in the very last possible second.
That's a pre-fire. Checks profile. 15-13. We said it would be close, but I didn't think it would be this close, especially not with such a strong CT side from Ukraine. In the first 8 rounds, they gave up 1, but Fnatic finally managed to restabilize, and in the last 5, they've taken 4. So things are starting to look tough for Ukraine, and this single round, which looked so doable just moments ago, is now seeming an improbability. Overtime looms for Ukraine. And map 3 as well. Unless they have anything to say about it in this round. They've got the buy. Edwards on the MP7. Simple's on the AWP. It's not too bad of a buy as well. Zeus still hasn't spent all his money. Can still buy up utility. Edward, again, also on the same story. Zeus not going to buy nades, interestingly enough, but maybe saving his money for a rainy day. Maybe they have a plan. Maybe he's going to get aggressive, and in fact, Simple will. And yeah, we do have mid-aggression. That's why Zeus didn't want to buy nades, because they're finding kills instead. Bondik, 1. Zeus still up close on the edge of the smoke, and he drops Let Go. It's happening for Ukraine right here, right now. 2 players left as they charge into B. Markelov with 1, but he drops back safely. This leaves it all onto JW. He's got to make it all happen in a 1v4 to keep Fnatic in WESG Barcelona in the running to find the grand final place. And with an AK, a Molotov, and a flash, what has he got to do?
He's got to find an exit out from apps, and that headshot could convince him, but he's wary of the flank, and he should be. Edward does come from behind, and that seals it. Here we go. Team Ukraine, yet again, as they get very close to that round 30, will mow down the Swedes. It is Fnatic pushed into that 3rd, 4th decider match, and it is going to be Team Ukraine in the finals. Can you believe it?
Very impressive.
Yep.
Ukraine versus Godsent, the group stage rematch. After taking down the #1 Swedish team at this event, or so we thought, they are going to be having another attempt at Godsent. Of course, that was a best-of-1 in groups. Now they get to prove it on a best-of-3, a big match as well. But before that, there is the 3rd and 4th place match, isn't there?
Exactly.
So Fnatic will get another chance to play some video games. They are going to be up against the loser versus Godsent, so that is going to be... off the top of my head.
Space Soldiers.
Space Soldiers, there we go.
The Turkish side.
The Turkish side. How can we forget them? 2-0ing Envy in the quarterfinals. Cheers for that.
Just kidding, Hugo.
How could you? But let's have a look at the bracket, see how it's updated, see how we're going to be looking for the last 2 games that Harry and Tom, the lovely men themselves, will bring you. Obviously, first is going to be, like we said, Space Soldiers, the unforgettable team versus Fnatic.
Of course, the biggest surprise to me, I'd say, is that at this event, we have no Danish representation in the round of 12. So there will be no Danish teams moving on to the Chinese event.
Yeah.
I thought for sure we would be seeing at least one of the 2. What's also incredible is that both Swedish lineups get themselves into the top 4. And nearly, obviously a few rounds difference between Ukraine and Fnatic, could have actually been both Ukrainian teams in the both Swedish teams in the grand finals. Not the case, however, obviously Fnatic falling at the final hurdle. But regardless, we are now set for a fantastic 3rd, 4th, and final game, honestly. I would be excited for both. So Hugo and myself will be bidding you guys farewell. It was a fantastic weekend, but we will be replaced by both Tom and Harry. Fantastic guys they are. So a reason in and of itself to stick around, not to mention even better Counter-Strike. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you with that third, fourth decider up next.